This episode is sponsored by the Topeka Newsletter, your master list of events in the Topeka area.
On this episode, Touch a Truck, Death to Claude, Quincy Street Conference and Event Center, The Merchant, and the Jayhawk Theater.
This is for Friday with Vince Fry. You're still with DTI, and you're still a swell guy.
Yes. Good for you. You can rhyme.
Swell guy portion is debatable, but I'm still with DTI.
All right, now you give me the countdown, Vince.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1.
DTI has always been very consistent with doing things and being out in the community, which I think is sometimes the hardest battle, to be able to get out there and do things consistently.
Well, and consistent is a good word for it. We're trying to be consistent, and so people can know what to expect, and that it's at a quality that people can appreciate. So consistency is a good word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we have a big event that's coming up. It's your Touch a Truck that comes up in August. And you've done this, is this like the third year?
This is the second year.
Or the second, only the second.
Labor Day weekend.
Okay, well then last year it was such a smash because I remember it last year.
Right.
So tell us a little bit more about the whole Touch a Truck event.
Yeah, well, you know, we've got a lot of trucks downtown and construction going on, so we thought last year, let's get people used to seeing trucks and realizing that means progress when you see them. So we held this event, and of course it's in conjunction with Labor Day, and had all these really neat trucks, dump trucks, cranes, fire trucks, police cars, things that kids would love. And they flocked down here. We were amazed at the number of people that showed up, over 3,000 people. Mm-hmm. And so they really enjoyed it. The really neat thing was we dumped 16 tons of sand right in the middle of Kansas Avenue for the kids to play on. So we've got 16 tons coming back again this year.
I used to hide. I was there. I hid under all the sand and then jumped out and scared the kids.
Yeah.
You're an awful human being.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah. And we've asked him to do that again this year. Yeah.
No,
Watch your children.
It's amazing. It's amazing what, that hands-on kind of thing, is for kids. Mm-hmm. You really can connect to adults through kids. When you do something that's fun for the kids, then the adults are there. I may shop a little. I may go and check out some of the merchants down here. And it's good for everyone.
Sure. And it's an educational experience for the kids. And we're going to have kind of a scavenger hunt, so they'll go from truck to truck and learn a little bit about it, and then they'll turn in this form that we give them, and they'll get a free T-shirt.
So will this be along Kansas Avenue?
Well, it was last year, but
Okay.
with the construction, it'll be kind of a T between 8th Street and Quincy.
Okay.
So up and down Quincy and over between Quincy and Kansas on 8th Street. Yeah.
That'll be great. Well, you've got a better scenery for it this year.
Well,
like
it's going to be a little bit better,
good.
yeah. Absolutely. They can definitely see construction going on.
We can't wait for Touch a Truck and jumping out of a big pile of dirt.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
We're here with John Lothenor. You're representing Arts Inc. You're the director of Death to Claude.
Don't let him talk yet, because
What?
wait till you listen to his voice.
Here you go.
Wait,
In
stop. Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Yes, I am the director of Death to Claude. Thank you very kindly.
It makes it sound so. You have like is it baritone? Is that a word? Is that an art word?
Yes, it is.
Is that good?
Sure. Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Baritone.
Okay.
Trained as a
Resonance.
baritone.
Yeah.
Yes.
It sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about this new production that you're doing. You are going to be, you are currently the director of Death to Claude.
Death to Claude, an interactive murder mystery in a dinner theater setting at the break room, and work of a local writer. And we've done a script of hers before. She's been very helpful this time around in workshopping it and bringing a really tight and I think very funny show together. The actors have done so much work as to their background that no matter what conversation comes up with anybody in the building, especially the clientele for the evening who have come to have drinks and dinner and a laugh with their friends, no matter what the conversation is, they've worked hard enough to be able to participate in that conversation as the character they've been assigned, and to do it this time with several accents as they have been assigned, and with a wide variety of backgrounds. They can also jump into almost any conversation and drop hints about what's to come, hints about who the murderer really is, hints about why they might be a likely candidate for being the person who pulled the trigger, metaphorically speaking. And we love that. Of course, there are times, moments in the script where they lock into script absolutely. And it's something you have to be careful about when there's violence on stage or when there's a slapstick comedy on stage. It's not a large stage, and it's not a large room. So everything is very intimate. It's a bit like this, quite in your face. And you want to keep a smile on the audience's face the entire time for that. You absolutely do.
There's no lying there.
Right. No, there isn't. It is very difficult.
Those lights don't blind you out.
No.
You're right there with them.
Okay, so let's talk about the venue. You're going to be in the break room.
In the break room.
So this is a rather small, intimate cabaret kind of a theater. So when you are interacting with the crowd, they're almost right there with the stage.
Yes, as a matter of fact. The MC for the evening always points out if your cell phone goes off, we'll be answering it for you. And it's much more likely in this show than in
say on that cell phone.
Don't worry. I'd use this voice. Don't worry. No matter what I say, I would be using this voice. Absolutely. And now I'm coming up with things to say. So thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. But yeah, it's a fun event where people can get tickets. Where can people get tickets?
Breakroomdowntown.com is the best way, or you can call 380-SHOW and get tickets over the phone that way.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's really professional. You got that good. I got that down. And then it also
I've done
comes
it
with
once or twice.
and then it also comes with a meal. Okay. The menu is some fried green tomatoes, grilled chicken with mango and black bean salsa or barbecue burnt ends, potato salad, German potato salad, and roasted summer squash. That sounds delicious. But
And
anyway,
a variety of desserts that are available
but really-
for a la carte purchase as well.
Yeah, see,
And it does.
look at you.
Absolutely everything fits the act that we're in. This one's a little unusual. It has 4 acts. And so the cocktail hour is definitely open conversation. It's nobody's on the proscenium stage demanding all of your attention. Although you'll definitely hear from a couple of our actors no matter where you are. And then when it's time for salad, it's ramping up into the story. Then appetizers run us all the way up to, the crux of the story itself. And the main course is figuring out everything that happened. And dessert, of course, is the denouement, where everybody gets to vote.
Yeah.
And we're not absolute cheapskate. I can't say that with a straight face. That is not going to be helpful. I don't know what the spiffy prize is going to be. But I'm certain that among those who vote correctly or figure out who the murderer is before it's revealed, it's 1 or 2 will be drawn out of a hat of some sort, and they'll get a spiffy little prize.
So for folks who've come to the break room before, they know that typically we have the meal before and then the show happens. But
This one is
a little
during.
different.
This is absolutely during.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So if we're not that good at it, we may be wearing potatoes. German.
I never thought of
German
it that way.
potatoes.
Potato salad.
German potatoes.
But if you throw them, we're going to make you clean it up afterwards.
If you throw the mango salsa at the director, he's going to eat it. That's all there is to that.
This is awesome. This is perfect.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show. It's happening in August. It's the 15th, 16th, 22nd, 29th, and 30th.
Mind you, just the 22nd on that weekend. The 23rd is a dark night for us. So
Yeah.
2 full weekends and 1 Friday in between.
It's been one of the biggest treats of my life to be able to work with all of the folks, not only with Arts Inc., folks like John Lothenor and Michelle Bryan and all those guys, but it really just...
If we had an honest list from day one of everybody who's been through there, I'm sure all of us would be amazed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And very quickly, in the early days of the Gourmet Cabaret, the audience became a fantastic and appreciative group very quickly as well.
They did.
This is start to finish, and especially this one, Death to Claude, because it is a local writer. It's been, all of it's homegrown. You cannot underestimate the talent in this town.
It's all Topeka and Death to Claude.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Good to go.
Well, here on Talk About Topeka, we're going to be speaking about the Quincy Street Conference and Event Center with the Gypsy. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing today?
Good. I always
You look
ask.
so sassy today.
I know, that's-
Actually, I would say it's more than sassy.
Mr. Sassy.
Mr. Sassy.
My new name.
Yes, it is absolutely perfect. Okay, so we know that you do tattoo stuff. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But right now, we're going to talk about the Quincy Street Conference and Event Center. And you talked about it with us, the last time that you were here, and you want to get a little bit more involved in the community. So there's a ton of things that you can do at your center.
Oh, you name it, we can do it. We have 2 conference rooms, a large one and a small one. You can actually reserve the center 7 days a week. Okay, I mean it's available 7 days a week. We have the large event area, which we got several events coming up here shortly on that. We have the galleries, the art galleries in there. It has a full kitchen. It's a complete event center downtown on a smaller scale than what TPAC would be. If you don't need TPAC, you need Quincy Street, and we're right across the street from TPAC.
Another thing that's really nice too about having an event center like this is it's expensive for employers to go ahead and pick up the whole team and go to Colorado or go to Seattle to go and just to be able to do a retreat. But it's kind of does the same thing when you just get out of the office and you're able to just have a room with all the things you need to do a big conference call
That's somewhere
and have
else.
a lunch.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. We're so reasonable. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at the price list right now. For up to 3 hours, Monday through Friday, weekdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., okay? It's $15 per hour. You're not going to find cheaper than that.
No, you won't.
There's no way. We have a VIP club. Now, VIP club, if you know you're going to use the center a lot, that's a good thing to be involved in. Or, like for instance, if you're an attorney, Shawnee County Courthouse is catty corner across the street. If you have an office out on Wanamaker Road and you need to have a meeting,
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think of that.
you can come right across the street to that center.
We also have a federal courthouse.
That's right. Where's that
So
at now? I thought it
it's-
wasn't an old post office building, wasn't it? Or
No, it's right behind,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Am I crazy?
I was
Okay.
being facetious.
You're being facetious.
She doesn't go to the post office because
I
her
don't get
poster's
it.
up there.
Whatever.
It used to be in the post office.
Quincy Street Conference and Event Center. What's the address again?
The
so we
address
can-
is 707 Southeast Quincy Street. It's in the top level of the New Century Credit Union building. And they can get a hold of me. My number is 785-580-8748. It's also on the website. I'll say it again, QuincyStreet707.com. And I have to just throw it out there real quick. September 20th, TopCon, Topeka's first comic book convention, is taking place at Quincy Street Center.
All right.
And cosplay.
Oh my gosh, we're just gonna have to have you back. How about that?
That's cool.
How about that?
That's cool. I can do
You'll
that.
have like Daniel Radcliffe show up in like a Little Mermaid costume or something. Like,
Wouldn't that be
let me know.
awesome?
That would
Yes,
be
it
great.
would be
Actually, I was thinking
perfect.
about having the world's best Leonard Nimoy impersonator show up, but you know.
Oh, that would be
Okay,
so
I'll go.
Okay, would you please?
We're with a good friend of mine and neighbor, Lisa Boyd from The Merchant. How you doing, Lisa?
I'm doing good.
Great, great. The Merchant is such a wonderful store. A little bit of everything in there. You've been on the show to talk about it before, but tell our listeners and viewers just a little bit about what you do.
Well, we have a resale shop. There's new and used clothing in there, jewelry, handbags, shoes, furniture. It's a little bit of everything. You never know what you'll find is kind of our motto there.
And you have the building itself, not only does it have the store, but it's got some apartments as well, and that's just really cool because it brings a little bit of living downtown. We talk a lot about that, and in this process that we're going through with the revitalization, as we want to call it.
We need way more apartments
Absolutely,
down
we
here.
need a lot more people living down here.
Yes.
So that's a big thing happening right now, and we are seeing some movement. We've seen a couple of businesses leave the area. We've also seen several businesses
Yes.
move into the area. You
Right.
know, we're balancing out pretty well.
The soonest thing I'd like to see come in is a grocery store.
Sure, yeah.
That would be wonderful. Walgreens does not count as groceries. And
We love Walgreens.
I do love
but,
Walgreens,
you know.
but I want some fresh produce choices. But yeah, and I hear that buildings are selling,
Yeah,
and that's real exciting.
yeah. And so when you came to the area, now were you started out down the street at the Merchant?
Right.
You were-
I rented a space for 2 years, 2 blocks down, where Boho Mojo is now, which they are going to be moving.
Yeah, and they did some great. They were just on the show. They did some really wonderful work and great explosive growth. Really, You're gonna be
Right.
down by Wolf's and
And they're going to be doing our shirts. I've been saving up shirts for like about a year, and they're going to be doing our T-shirts in the next couple weeks, I think.
oh, that's
So,
cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a really great space that they're moving into because they're going to have a bigger retail space than where they are, which that space that they are in now is available for rent, and it's a great space for a small retail shop.
A starter store.
I mean, Marion Lane Candles started there. I started there, Boho Mojo, and it's an affordable space.
Well, folks, you heard that from someone who started in that space.
Yeah,
and
then
you've
I wanna
seen
own.
several people. Yeah, right. And there's several places that have started downtown in that space, and now it's going to be vacant. So come and join us down here. It's a great start. It has a good track record so far.
It does.
Yeah. So I want to get back to your store a little bit. What's the season like? I know you do a lot. The way that you stock your store is rather unique. Let's talk a little bit about the kind of merchandise that you have.
Well, when it comes to clothing, I really like to think that I would have a piece for anybody, any age, any style. There's a little bit of everything. Right now we're going into fall, and so we're putting our boots out, jeans are coming out, jackets, and it does help doing that in August when it's 50 degrees at night. It's really nice. It makes it a lot easier than when it's super hot.
Yeah.
But, and then we're going to be going into Halloween, which we always have a really big Halloween. We'll have costumes.
That's always fun downtown.
And we buy costumes, we buy clothes, we buy, sell, and trade. If you go to Facebook and look up The Merchant, we have our rules on there. You need to make an appointment. And I'll look at about anything.
That's right, and you have a little bit of everything. So whatever you think that The Merchant is, they're probably something way more, right? Is that a way to put it?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to have you here. Thank you, Lisa Boyd,
Thanks.
so
I
much.
appreciate
From
it.
The Merchant in downtown Topeka, 913 South Kansas Avenue. Be sure to get down, check it out, and I wouldn't have a problem if they came in and had some lunch next door at Field of Events Break Room at all.
Or I always tell people too, if you want to come over to the break room and get a cup of coffee, and then come over and look at our books in the basement.
I think it's a great idea. So let's do that, folks. We'd love to see you downtown. So thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Well, we're here on Talk About Topeka with Doug Jones. You're the president of the Jayhawk Theater in downtown Topeka. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Now, Jayhawk Theater was the State Theater of Kansas. It's been sitting vacant for quite some time. There's been an effort to restore the whole theater, and you have been spearheading that effort for the last few years as the president. Tell us a little bit about that effort and the theater itself.
Can I steal this?
You certainly may.
Because I've seen this. I want to see it again. Okay, go.
The theater closed in 1976 and sat there unused and empty till the mid-90s when Jim Parrish gave it to the 501c3 that is currently the Jayhawk Board of Directors. And since the mid-90s, that board has raised nearly $750,000, but it's all gone back into infrastructure to keep the roof tight and maintenance to prevent any further damage to it. We have actually 3 different buildings. One is known as the Upstage Gallery. That is our art gallery that's open. It's open for First Friday, and it's open most days or by appointment, where we have art hanging all the time, and we have a lot of people come in on First Friday. And pretty much everyone that comes in the door on First Friday want to go see the theater itself. Right. And so we're constantly leading tours into the theater. And it's really fun to see people's faces when they walk through the doors and look around, because I bet less than half the people in Shawnee County even know it exists, because there's no streetscape. We have an awning on Jackson that says the Jayhawk Theater, but there are no marquees up yet.
Yeah.
There will be on Jackson and on 7th Street.
Were there marquees up originally?
There were, yeah.
And then those were just taken down because it became dormant. It kind of became...
That's correct. And when it closed in 76, somebody took out all the seats. But even though there's been some plaster damage, people's faces just light up. They can see the potential when they walk in there. There's some beautiful detail. The proscenium arch is gorgeous. it's got a kind of a sexy wow factor when people walk in there.
They don't build them like that anymore.
No, they don't, and it's Topeka's last one. All the others have been torn down. And if we look around our state, Salina has a very active the Stiefel Theater in Salina, Emporia, Wichita, the Orpheum, McPherson, the McPherson Opera House. And darn it, we're the capital.
Yeah, exactly. And it's right down the street from our beautiful new redone Capitol, too.
Yes.
Yeah, I've spoken to a lot of people in downtown, and the fact that we have our little theater thing going, and people talk about the Jayhawk all the time, and I hear so many stories from people when they're talking about all the people that they saw there, the acts that played on that stage, and it wasn't small potatoes. That was big business here, and there was big stuff happening at the Jayhawk.
Bob Hope played there.
Yeah.
George Burns. I think Gypsy Rose Lee danced there. I, as a kid, my buddies and I, we would all come downtown and spend the whole weekend downtown, having lunch,
Causing
this and
trouble.
that, causing trouble a little bit. And I remember standing in line at the Jayhawk for 101 Dalmatians when it first came out, and an interesting part of the history of the Jayhawk that I didn't really realize it at the time. It was segregated, and a dear friend of mine who's also on our board, Lonnie Williams, had to sit upstairs, and there were signs literally directing people of color to sit upstairs, and I can't believe I didn't notice that.
Because it was normal then.
But our reaction to that once we open is to embrace diversity, and we will be showing films and having events that embrace diversity, not separate people. So
Well, it's another piece of the rich history of Topeka with the Brown v. Board site here as well. Having another item that identifies that and then celebrates the progress that we've made today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be embracing that.
Yeah.
Well,
Doug
thank
Jones,
you so much.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
Of course,
having me.
If you want to write those checks, you want to find out any more information, go to Jayhawk Theater, RE at the end, .com, and get involved. Yeah.
We'll take your help in any way you can give it.
And if there's ever an event that's going on, go. It would definitely be worth it.
That's absolutely. Get involved in the film contest, the Rocky Horror Show. There's so many things happening.
If you can't afford $1 million, then go to the event.
Just
go
support
to the
them.
things
Yeah.
and pay that little bit just to stay involved.
That's what it's all about. So thank you so much, Doug, for joining
bet.
us. And
Thanks for having me.
let us know if there's anything we can do to help with the Jayhawk Theater, because we'll be right there.
I'll be glad to do that.
All right.
Visit talkabouttopeka.com to hear full interviews of all our guests. Connect with us anytime on Facebook and Twitter. Listen live and hear more from Chris and Jamie from 7 to 8 a.m. every weekday on The Big Talker, KMAJ 1440. And keep talking about Topeka.
How many 420 tattoos have you done?
I never thought about that.
If I had $60 for each 420, I do. Anyway.
I saw you roll up in that Mercedes out there.
Yeah, two-wheel Mercedes.